Hey folks, when GNC asked us to come up with the most powerful pre-workout in their store, at first I sighed and I was like, and I said, okay, let's do it. So I'm glad you're all here for the official reveal on this episode. We're talking about the new and improved, more efficient pumps, more feel-good energy, and our best flavors yet, only found in the new Specimen Max. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Joey Savage. I'm the CSO and formulator here at Glaxon. And if you like this video, give me a like and a subscribe. Now, personally, I feel like I've kind of talked about energy and pre-workouts ad nauseum. But here's the new rundown of your micronutrient profile for the new Specimen Max. You'll notice here that the supplement facts panel now starts off with good old ascorbic acid or vitamin C. And for those of you who really like berries and citrus fruits, it might not be necessary. But most animals here on planet Earth can actually endogenously make their own vitamin C. Except for us primates, the humans and the apes, we actually have to consume vitamin C from our diets. Now, we've touched on the functionality of vitamin C before in the Wonder Collagen video, where we discussed its coenzymatic role of hydroxylating prolines and lysines, making collagen fibers. But to elaborate on that some more, we're going to begin to understand a little bit why this vitamin is so important. Not only is vitamin C conducive to collagen growth, but the overall growth of connective tissue, and this is vitally important in the process of wound healing. Deficiency in vitamin C causes bleeding gums and an inability to repair your own wounds, and this is called scurvy. Why did I just use a pirate accent? Well, in the maritime days of exploratory sea travel, many sailors discovered that after being out in the open ocean for months on end with no citrus or berries in sight, their teeth got loose and started falling out, and some people that were on board started getting a little more stir-crazy than normal. And all of this was because of a nutritional deficiency in vitamin C. We have vitamin C here now in Specimen Max to help catalyze the formation of nitrite and nitric oxide from our electronitrate blend, but I'm going to touch on that here in a minute. Aside from this new addition of vitamin C, you're also going to find a handful of coenzyme B vitamins, like pyridoxal 5-phosphate and methylcobalamin for some of you B vitamin snobs, but it's also supported by vitamins B1, B2, and B3 because you guys all know that I love niacin. The mineral forms you might be familiar with, as they're a major component of our electrolyte blend, which I will also touch on in a minute. But starting off the functional ingredient panel is the classic beta-alanine at the clinical 3.2 gram serving size, though this dose is kind of debatable depending on who you ask about it. Now, beta-alanine really isn't the thing that we're after when it comes to beta-alanine supplementation. You see, it actually combines with another amino acid, L-histidine. And this fusion creates a family of small peptides that are well known for their ability to fight off intramuscular acidity. And by doing that, enable you to perform more work during your workouts by buffering against hydrogen ions and lactic acid. You could say that it gives a small but noticeable endurance boost, and that enables you to actually work out for longer. You might notice also a tingling sensation that comes along with beta-alanine supplementation. Some people get it in really small amounts, around the eyebrows and pretty much anywhere that grows hair on the body, but some people get it all over their entire body. But don't worry yourself about this, it's something called paresthesia. Completely normal response that'll subside in about 20 to 30 minutes after you've ingested this pre-workout. Next up is another tried and true amino acid called betaine anhydrous at the clinical dose of 2.5 grams per serving. And betaine actually has several different jobs inside the body. Because betaine, aka trimethylglycine, has so many methyl groups, it could also be a methyl group donor, potentially supporting your chromosomal integrity and decreasing homocysteine levels. But for fitness, betaine is most famous for being an osmolyte, or something that helps your muscle cells maintain the amount of water necessary between their intracellular and extracellular environments. Creatine coincidentally also falls into this category of osmolytes, along with taurine and a handful of others. And it's no wonder that these two compounds have similar properties, considering that betaine is actually one of the precursors in your own body's endogenous synthesis of creatine. Betaine supplementation at these levels has shown to increase power output, work volume, and in some cases a little bit of an increase in endurance. Now, also considering that betaine is an osmolyte, this easily segues us into our next subject of electrolytes and hydration in the electrolyte blend. You're going to find that the electrolyte blend is tastefully peppered into several of our different powdered products because we believe that 1, hydration is a good thing, and that's also why we recommend consuming all of our powdered products with 16 ounces of water. We're just trying to get you to consume more. Number 2, that minerals can actually help performance, and probably more than you might think. Many of the transporters involved here are sodium or potassium or glucose dependent, and you'll get some of all of that in the electrolyte blend. And number 3, it actually helps out a lot with flavor, and these electrolyte salts actually make the flavors pop a little bit more. Hydration aspects of Specimen are also further supported by the new addition of the electronitrate blend, which features both sodium and potassium nitrate. Not only does this provide the key electrolytes sodium and potassium, but it also provides the nitrate ion itself, supporting pumps and better blood flow with the 2 most efficient salts at delivering nitrates, sodium and potassium. These nitrates are gradually broken down into nitrite into nitric oxide, which creates a vasodilatory effect, and it pushes more blood and nutrients into working muscle tissue. This enhanced blood flow is also bolstered by the addition of estrogen, a trademark combination of the botanicals astragalus and Panax known as ginseng. And that has also been shown to improve absorption in the gut of several key ingredients, including botanicals, amino acids, and even some peptides. But now for the fun part. What's a good pre-workout without a robust and comprehensive blend of stimulants that fire you up, get you off the couch, and get you into the gym? In Specimen Max, you're going to find various components that are centered around a unifying theme of keeping certain neurotransmitters like dopamine, adrenaline, and noradrenaline abundant in the central nervous system. And we accomplish this through a variety of different mechanisms. Number 1 is to trigger neurotransmitter release, and that's accomplished through the lovely pair of both caffeine and theobromine. Both of these are alkaloids that are usually found in coffee, and they antagonize the adenosine receptors in the brain, and this decreases your sense of tiredness. But it also causes a subsequent release of these main neurotransmitters, dopamine, noradrenaline, and adrenaline, and these are collectively known as the catecholamines. Not only does this make us feel good, but it gives us more energy, more drive, and more goal-oriented behavior. Step 2 is to make sure that these neurotransmitters stay abundant in the central nervous system, and this is accomplished through 2 different mechanisms. 1, the blocking of monoamine oxidase, an enzyme that's actually responsible for the breakdown of the catecholamine neurotransmitters. And then the binding of reuptake enzymes that slow the rate of potential activity that these neurotransmitters could possess. These 2 mechanisms are the domain of Rhodioprime 6X, a new addition to Specimen Max, and it has a high standardization for a compound called salidroside, which has been shown to be a competitive inhibitor of monoamine oxidase B, and by inhibiting that, you get more of the catecholamines. However, certain compounds in ivy leaf extract have also been shown to bind several reuptake transport proteins that modulate the rate of activity for dopamine, norepinephrine, and for serotonin as well. Step 3 is to ensure that the happy train stays in motion, stays on track, and we do this by adding precursors and cofactors that contribute to the synthesis of these catecholamine neurotransmitters that we're after. In making more catecholamine neurotransmitters, 2 key ingredients are of use here. 1 is the amino acid L-DOPA, that's derived from the velvet bean or Mucuna pruriens, and then also the coenzyme form of vitamin B6 called pyridoxal 5-phosphate. These 2 ingredients found in Specimen Max actually help supply an enzyme called aromatic amino acid decarboxylase, and that is the enzyme that's responsible for converting L-tyrosine, L-DOPA, 5-HTP, and L-tryptophan into the monoamine neurotransmitters. So that actually includes all of the catecholamines, but it includes the entire serotonin family as well. Now step 4. With all these gears turning in the right direction, the last box to check in the hardcore stimulant crescendo is the triggering of the sympathomimetic fight or flight response through the adrenoreceptors, the receptors for adrenaline. This means that by employing certain molecules of similar shape and size and structural properties as the actual neurotransmitters in your body, that these molecules can actually bind your internal receptors to create an even more pronounced response than the endogenous neurotransmitters would themselves. You could think of this as a chemically induced adrenaline rush. The fight or flight response is there, and it's activated by adrenaline to save your life if you're ever in danger, like if you need to fight a bear or run from a bear. If you run into a bear, you're gonna have a spike of adrenaline, and there you go, fight or flight response. There you go. Now, the fight or flight response is most pronounced through our use of 2 different kinds of yohimbine. They're atom for atom, the exact same thing. However, their 3D conformation is just slightly different into what we call isomers. And if you look at your hands, you see that you can get a pretty good idea of how isomers work. You got a right and a left hand, and they both have the same amount of fingers. However, if you try to take a left hand and put it into a right-handed glove, you see that it doesn't quite work right. You know, it can go in there, it just doesn't fit very well. But in the case of your body, the receptors are actually more like these gloves, where either a right or a left hand can easily fit inside and start the cascade of events from this receptor binding. All this taken together creates a pre-workout experience that is unique to Specimen Max, with considerations taken for endurance, power, pumps, hydration, and a stimulant energy combo that you're not going to really find anywhere else. Our beta testers that actually got to try Specimen Max before the launch all seem to think that it's got potent energy that seemingly kind of builds on itself throughout your entire workout, leaving you with more gas in the tank to either lift more weights or go for a run, or to simply use that energy for the rest of your day with a minimal amount of crash. So, if you're looking for the hardest hitting pre-workout that's going to be available in GNC, look no further than Specimen Max. This is now available in our totally improved flavors, watermelon gummy, strawberry kiwi, and our classic alien pop. That's our show for today. Once again, I'm Joey Savage. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Discord at Supplement Lab. And don't forget to take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on the Supplement Lab.